Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up podcast. Today, we're going to do something a little different. It's a Wednesday night. I just got off a 16-hour shift. I'm powered by W. Drank a W at work. Shout out our affiliate over at W. I'm Theo. It's just Theo today. Nick's on a little break. Maybe he's mourning the loss of Malik Neighbors, torn ACL, so tough loss for the Giants and for Giants fans and for just the football community in general, as Malik Neighbors was on the verge of superstardom if he wasn't already there. Like I said, I'm Theo. It's just me today. This is the Drafted Up podcast. Should have brought some little candlelight. Have a little romantic day with y'all here on the show. You know where to find us. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Search Drafted Up Podcast. We'll be there. Like, rate, subscribe, review, all that good jazz. Today, I'm going to try something new. I'm not going to really talk about the NFL. Just going to talk college ball. So I'll hand out some game balls, and I'll do a prospect spotlight like we always do on Tuesdays, and I will give a little rundown of some games I'm really interested in this week in NCAA. So, and if that's something you guys enjoy, like maybe that's a format we'll go forward with. So, put in the comments, stuff like that. If you like the college format, maybe Tuesdays we kind of shift our focus to college and prospects, and then focus our Thursday shows on fantasy, pick'em, all that good stuff, starts of the week, all that good jazz that we normally do on a Thursday. So, yeah, and obviously if there's some prospects that you're interested in, throw them in the comments, or guys that you want us to keep an eye on or watch or give a report on. We'd love your feedback as well. Like, I would love to, give you guys shout outs, stuff like that, and talk about guys that you're interested in. And, this is a community, and we're building the Drafted Up community. Before we dive into that, let me give a shout out to our affiliates. I already mentioned W. Drank a W at work today. Did a nice 16-hour shift. And then I'm hopping on here on the podcast. So, W Energy, good, clean energy, no artificial dyes, no sweeteners, none of that good stuff, none of that bad stuff. But they're, like I said, good, clean, jitterless energy. They got a ton of flavors. They just dropped the yuzu. It's a Japanese fruit. It's delicious. I love it. It's personally my favorite of the batches I've tried. They also do some collabs with other content creators and anime. They're collabing with the Anime of the Year and Solo Leveling, so they got stuff, flavors with that. If that's your stick, they also have non-caffeinated. They got a hydration line. So check them out. Use the code Drafted Up. Get a nice 10% discount anytime, anywhere. First, second, 30-second order. That code will work. Search W on your app store. It'll be there. Or go to w.gg if you want to use their mobile or their website. And like I said, use the code Drafted Up for 10% discount. And then Finley hats. Their hats are good. Their hats are built for good times and long times. If they're damaged or destroyed, they will replace or repair your hat absolutely free. They got free shipping across the U.S. Ton of cool designs. They do weekly drops every Friday. So check them out over at Finley Hats. Join the force. And in the description, there's a link. Click it for a nice 15% off your first purchase over at Finley Hats. So support our friends over at Finley and support our friends over at W Energy. Oh, Nick's not here. Sorry. Be better. Eat that dub. Okay. Speaking of eating those dubs, how about North Texas? That's where we're going to start. First game ball. North Texas, they're 5-0. I know you can make a claim they haven't really played anyone. Lamar, not Jackson, the university, Western Michigan, Washington State, Army, South Alabama. They do have South Florida coming up next week. They have a bye this week. So that'll be a nice game, South Florida. Decent team. But I want to give a game ball and a shout out to their freshman running back, Caleb Hawkins. Now, Nick brought up freshman superstar Ahmad Hardy, and I'm going to touch base on him again, give Nick his props on that one. But North Texas has themselves a freshman back, Caleb Hawkins. Against South Alabama, this dude, 16 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 receptions, 78 yards for another touchdown. He had a 69-yard screen pass, and it was a great run. Like, I loved it. He freaking mauled through 3 defenders towards the end to get into the end zone, and this dude was just chugging it. Like, check that out. Like, look up Caleb Hawkins screen pass, social media, you'll find it. Excellent run from him. 7 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He had 4 in the overtime victory over Army. Like I said, they haven't really played anyone, but true freshman Caleb Hawkins, he's the highest rated back on PFF, like even over Ahmad Hardy right now. So, like I said, true freshman, keep his name in the back of your head. We'll see how he continues on this year here at North Texas, but maybe he transfers up as a junior or a senior if he continues to play at this level to a bigger school, and maybe he is a draft prospect in a few years. So I want to give a shout out. First game ball of the week, Caleb Hawkins, running back, North Texas. Yeah, they're 5-0. I'm interested to see if they build from this, and as they play South Florida, who's beaten some good teams this year. So they're currently 3-1. Let's shout out some quarterbacks. First one, Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback from Ole Miss, transfer from Ferris State. He's been the starter the last 3 games for Ole Miss, replacing an injured Austin Simmons. They played LSU this past week and they won. Chambliss, 23 of 39 for 314 yards. He had a touchdown, interception. Also added 71 yards on the ground. So nearly 400 total yards of offense for Chambliss. Over LSU, who was top 5. He outperformed Garrett Nussmeier. Like, he looked great, and he's looked great for Ole Miss, like, to the point, like, they can't go away from this dude once Simmons gets back, in my eyes. So, shout out Chambliss, creating controversy here for Ole Miss, who jumped to 4 in the AP poll here. So, and Ferris State transfer, who's playing some incredible ball. He's got some juice. He runs around, developing as a passer as well. So, let's give Trinidad Chambliss a game ball here. He's draft eligible. I don't think he comes out, but like I said, he outperformed Garrett Nussmeier, had nearly 400 yards of total offense for Ole Miss in the quote-unquote upset victory against LSU. So SEC, they're the tough competition. Let's see if Chambliss continues to build from this. Like I said, I wouldn't move on from him if I'm Lane Kiffin. Going forward here, I would not be making the switch back to Austin Simmons. I'm just riding the hot hand in Trinidad Chambliss. Dante Moore, quarterback, Oregon. This cat went into Happy Valley against Penn State, number 2 in the nation, during a whiteout. And he played his ass off, gave Oregon the win, double overtime, 29 for 39, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, 35 yards on the ground. He made clutch play after Penn State was able to get back in this game. Like the double overtime, this game was not as close as the score suggested, or Oregon was flat out the better team on Saturday. Penn State just looked lost. Aller wasn't moving the ball. The offense wasn't moving. The defense kept them in this game. Denied Dennis Sutton. And Aller just hit on a big play in the 4th and got his team back into this. But Dante Moore never wavered. And he led Oregon here to the victory over Penn State. Now they're number 2 in the nation in the AP poll. Yeah, he's looked great this year. And with John Mateer out, he, in my eyes, is the Heisman frontrunner. And he might be the best pure passer in the nation. Like, keep your eyes out on Dante Moore. Like, I hope he comes back to school for another year, continue to gain experience. He does have a year starting experience as a freshman over at UCLA. Transferred to Oregon last year where he backed up Dylan Gabriel. And this year he ended up winning the job, though it was late. Like, it wasn't like right away, like Oregon was like, hey, this guy's our starting quarterback. He earned this. And like, there was talks he might not win the job. And here he is, won the job. He's played his ass off this year, but if he does come out, I'd be hard pressed right now to not have him in my top 3 to 5 quarterbacks. And I think, you're talking first round buzz for Dante Moore. But like I said, I hope he comes back, gets another year of starting experience in college under Dan Lanning, Will Stein, the offensive coordinator there. Like, they're quarterback factory. Look what they did to Bo Nix. They got him first round. Dylan Gabriel, they improved his game, 3rd round pick, and he's starting this week for the Cleveland Browns against the Minnesota Vikings. So Oregon's doing something there, something in the water. So I hope Dante Moore stays, but right now, if he does come out, like I said, I'd be hard pressed to not have him in the first round of my drafts. Final quarterback touch on Haynes King from Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, this dude put the squad on his back and carried them to an overtime comeback victory against Wake Forest. Georgia Tech, this team, to me, feels like a playoff-bound team, potentially. And maybe that is a lofty goal in the ACC where you have Miami, you have Florida State, who was upset by Virginia, but I think they run the table. They have Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, North Carolina State, Boston College, and Pitt before facing Georgia. That's the real test. But they could be going into the ACC title game with just one loss, and that loss could be to Georgia. And then say they do lose to Miami. That's a 2-loss team that last year SMU lost the ACC title game. They made the playoffs. So we'll see if history continues that way. But I'd be hard pressed, like I said, to not put Georgia Tech as a top 12 contending team here in college football for the playoffs. But Haynes King, 28 for 42, 243 yards and a touchdown. 21 carries for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's got 7 rushing touchdowns on the year, 380 yards. He is a dual threat, but he's going to beat you with his legs first and foremost. He is a run-first quarterback, but he's got juice. He's tough as nails. Said if he's leading Georgia Tech, like I said, I find it hard to not consider them a playoff contender right now. And with their favorable schedule, we could be looking at them potentially facing Miami in the ACC title game with one loss under their belt to Georgia. And maybe they do pull the upset off Georgia and they're going in undefeated. And if that's the case and they do lose in the ACC title game, there's no way you can't put them in the college football playoffs. And Haynes King, like I said, playing lights out ball right now for Georgia Tech. Probably not a name you're going to hear a lot in the draft process. He is draft eligible. He is a senior. He maybe gets drafted and he's a backup type gadget type guy. Maybe he takes a Taysom Hill role. He's a good athlete. So name to keep in mind, but right now just enjoy him in college. He's playing great college ball for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Ahmad Hardy, running back Missouri. This Nick's dude. So, and Nick's dude might be that dude. Nick might be on to something here. 130 yards and 3 touchdowns for Missouri this past week as they whooped up on UMass 42-6. On the season, Hardy, 730 yards, 9 touchdowns, averaging 7.1 yards a clip. He's on pace for 247 carries, 1,752 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Missouri, undefeated. They sit at 19 in the polls. They're 5-0, and they're hitting that stretch after their bye week this week of these prove me games. They got Alabama, they got Auburn, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Arkansas. As of this recording, 4 of those teams are ranked all in the top 16. And if Missouri goes out there and plays tough, which they are, this is a tough football team. They want to run the ball a ton, and I can't blame him with Ahmad Hardy. Bula, their quarterback, Penn State transfer, also got a little juice under his legs. He can move as well. But this could put Hardy's name on the map as one of the best backs in the nation if he isn't already. Like, if you aren't paying attention to what Ahmad Hardy is doing in Missouri, Nick brought this up a few weeks ago. This kid is it, and he could be a name we're watching here in 2027, 2028. And who's to say he doesn't transfer to a bigger school? Say he ends up in Ohio State or Penn State or, one of these, big names was Texas, and continues to just put on this run he's at Missouri. You're potentially talking about first round caliber running back. So give Nick his flowers there for Ahmad Hardy, the running back from Missouri, who's just absolutely destroying it right now. And finally, final game ball is to a whole unit. The Ohio State Buckeyes defense. They completely shut down Washington, who I thought was a good football team. And they held them to 6 points. Like, opponents are averaging like 5 points a game on the Ohio State Buckeyes right now. This team lost 8 dudes in the draft last year. Let's not forget that. And their defensive coordinator moved on. He left Ohio State. He went to Penn State, and they brought in Matt Patricia. Yes, that Matt Patricia, who was in the NFL, laughing stock. He's now Ohio State's defensive coordinator, and they are absolutely tearing teams apart. Just against Washington, Caden Curry, their edge rusher, 11 tackles, 3 sacks. Caden McDonald, the big boy, 326 pounds, 6'2" in the interior, 7 tackles, 2 sacks. Let's not forget they have maybe the 2 best linebackers in the nation in Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, both who could be first-round picks in 2026. I love their game. They're running around like crazy, doing damage. And, of course, we can't forget about Caleb Mother Bleeping Downs. Like, he's bad. He might be the best prospect in the 2026 draft. And he's kind of being overshadowed at this point just because of how good this defense is playing. But this unit is scary good. Ohio State, to me, they are the best team in the nation, hands down. It looks like they could be defending their national championship come the playoff time. Like, I don't see any way this team's not in the playoffs, bearing some catastrophic failure. But this unit is so good, and like, yeah, they're probably not as good as last year, but they're still one of the best, if not the best defense in college football, and will be the reason like that they get carried to potentially a repeated national championship. I know they have Jeremiah Smith, elite prospect at wide receiver, but Julian saying young quarterback, he's going to go through growing pains. They don't have the talent on offense that they had last year with Igbuka and Trevion and Quinshon Judkins. So we'll see where they go from here at Ohio State, but with this defense, they're going to go far. Like, they're number 1 in the nation for a reason right now. So game balls all around to the Ohio State Buckeyes defense. Okay. Prospect Spotlight Series. I got one guy here that I'm going to talk about before moving on to a couple games that I'm interested in here, week 6 for college ball. And then I'll send you guys on your way. Our little romantic date night, just Theo on the Drafted Up podcast. So appreciate you guys listening. Like I said, if you have any prospects you want to shout out, put them in the comments, and we'll do our best to watch them, review them in upcoming prospects, or game balls yourself. Like, who do you giving your game ball to this week here in college? Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, redshirt junior. That's who I'm bringing to the table today. He just turned 21 here in August, as we are now, it's October 1st of this recording. It's spooky season. You see the Halloween decorations behind me here, but like I said, just turned 21 in August, 6'1", 195 pounds. Last season, 75 catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns this season so far, 39 for 483 and 7 through those 5 games. His pace for the season would be 94 catches for 1,159 yards and 17 touchdowns. So, he's far and away right now my wide receiver 1 for the 2026 class. I know Nick brought Denzel Boston to the table the other week, and that's his guy. And I like Denzel Boston, but I don't think he's anywhere near the talent of Jordan Tyson. Strong route runner. He creates separation, wins with power and finesse. He'll block his ass off. Hines Ward is the wide receiving coach out there at Arizona State. And if you know anything about Hines Ward, you know that dude blocked his tail off in the NFL. He wins at all 3 levels, creates yards after catch, really versatile. He lines up on the outside. He lines up in the slot. He can struggle with press a bit. Catch radius is a little concerning. He does have some concentration drops and injury history. He had a knee injury in 2023 and a collarbone injury in 2024. But like I said, on tape alone, he's got the intangibles. He is my wide receiver 1 right now. I don't think that changes coming into the 2026 class. And I think had he come out last year, I would have had him right there with Teteroa McMillan as my wide receiver 2 behind Travis Hunter. So big praise. I've been in on Tyson since last year. I think he plays bigger than his frame, and I think he looks bigger as well. Like, he doesn't look 195 and 195 pounds. He doesn't play like 195 pounds. He looks like he's 205, 210. He carries his weight really well. Last season wasn't the focal point of this offense. The offense ran through Cam Skattebo. And this year, he is the offense. Sam Levitt, the quarterback there, I love him. He's not as good as he was last year on tape. He's kind of been all over the place this year. He's been a little bit volatile at times, but Tyson's been the catalyst of this offense. The way he creates separation is borderline elite to me. He's really fluid. He tempos his routes. He's not out there trying to be cute. He's out there to win the rep and catch the ball. And yeah, like I said, he does have some concentration drops. You see that on tape as well, but he plays big. He will moss you. He will catch the ball at the high point. Like I said, his separation, his ability to create separation is out of this world. I think you could be looking at him as a top 5 potential pick in 2026. Like, I think he's that good. So check him out. That's Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. And if you've watched some of Tyson already, throw your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with where you view Jordan Tyson? Maybe if we're here Thursday, I don't know if we're gonna have a recording Thursday. If we do, I'll see what Nick's thoughts are there on Jordan Tyson. But yeah, I'm a big fan. He's one of my favorite prospects for the 2026 draft. So check him out, Jordan Tyson, Arizona State wide receiver. All right, let's wrap this up with some Week 6 games that I'm really into this week. We'll start number 9, Texas. They're 3-1. They travel to Florida to take on the Gators. The Gators are 1-3. Hasn't been a great year for Florida, but the Florida defense has some good cats on it, and I'm really interested to see how Arch Manning and crew handle this defense. So that's where my mind is seeing how Arch Manning does he continue to improve, or does he kind of teeter around with where he's been? It's been up and down for Arch this year, and now he goes up against a really tough defense here with the Gators. They got some pro guys, Sapp, Caleb Banks, who I believe is hurt, their defensive tackle. So I don't think he'll be out there. But this is this team's better than they're playing. It's sort of like Clemson. Clemson it hasn't been a good year for them, and it hasn't been a good year for Florida. But this defense still legit. So I'm interested to see how Arch Manning handles a really good defense. They got a good linebacker, Miles Graham, as well, with Tyreek Sapp, the edge rusher over there in Florida. George Gums Jr., great name, another good edge rusher Florida has. So we'll see. We'll see how Arch Manning. That's why I want to see how Arch and crew handle a good Florida defense here, who Florida as a whole has underperformed, but I think it's in the cards that they could beat Texas. Do I think they do at the end of the day? No, but I do want to see where Arch kind of goes from here. Another one, this was kind of out there. Michigan State, the Spartans, they're 3-1. They go to Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers, who are also 3-1. I'm just here for the quarterback battle. Raiola, Dylan Raiola, the quarterback for Nebraska, the Patrick Mahomes clone. That's what everybody's going to be talking about. That's his shtick, whatever. But he is a damn good football player, and I can't wait to really dive into his tape once he becomes draft eligible. And yeah, I think there's a world he's a first round guy from Nebraska. He's got the talent. Ignoring all the Patrick Mahomes stuff, he's good. He's good. Check him out over at Nebraska. And on the opposite side, Michigan State, Aiden Childs. I dig this cat, dude. He moves around. He's gotten better every year, and I don't think he comes out this year. I think we're talking about him in 2027. But he's got the frame, 6'3", 225, dual threat. This is a guy to keep an eye on. He's kind of under the radar. He's not a name that gets brought up a lot in the realm of things for college football. So I'm looking forward to this battle. I think this is going to be a fun game between Michigan State and Nebraska. Mississippi State, 4-1 at Texas A&M, who's 4-0. Mississippi State took Tennessee to overtime, and the Mississippi State was bad last year. It was a bad football team, historically bad defense, and they're playing much better this year. And the big test was last week against Tennessee, and they took them to overtime. They almost had this game won. Yeah, they had the home field advantage. The cowbells were ringing there, so I'm going to be interested to seeing where they go from here. Like, do they continue to trend upwards, or do they kind of fall back to earth and become Mississippi State again as they enter SEC play against Texas A&M, who's number 6 in the nation, is a damn good football team. Mississippi State doesn't have a ton of prospects out there that I'm really interested in. I do want to see their sophomore running back. Great name here. Get ready for this one. Fluff Bothwell. He's having a nice little year for Mississippi State, so I want to see how he performs against an elite defense here in Texas A&M. Like, they got cats. Cassius Howell, who might be better than the guys they brought out last year, and that was, Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner, Nick Scorton. Like, Cassius Howell might be a better pro prospect than those dudes, and those dudes were great. Like, I loved them. And I think Cassius Howell, we're going to be talking about him a lot here in 2026. Torian York, linebacker, Will Lee, the third corner. Casey Concepcion, wide receiver transfer. He was at NC State. He's now at Texas A&M. They also have Culver, who's not draft eligible, but he has been an absolute machine this year for Texas A&M. He is the highest ranked player at wide receiver, Mario Carver, at PFF. So he's a little small, but he's damn good at football. So we'll keep our eyes there. Marcel Reese, the quarterback there at Texas A&M. So I want to see if Mississippi State is legit here as they play a really good Texas A&M team who might be one of the 5-6 best teams in the nation. But they got a ton of dudes. Like I said, Casey Concepcion, Mario Carver. That defense is loaded. Cassius Howell, Torian York, Will Lee the third. They even got a decent little running back, Le'Veon Moss. So big test for Mississippi State. They held their own, like I said, against Tennessee. We'll see if that continues here. This time on the road, SEC game against number 6 Texas A&M. Final 2 games. These are the 2 games of the week here. We'll start 16 Vanderbilt, another SEC matchup. They're 5-0. Let's not sleep on the Commodores. They're traveling to Alabama, the 10th ranked team in the AP poll. Bama 3-1 as we sit currently. Vanderbilt beat Bama last year, so kind of a salty taste in your mouth for your Alabama. They got a ton of dudes over in Tuscaloosa, but Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia, their quarterback, he is a dog. He is so fun to watch. Similar to like Haynes King in terms of like, this guy's not a pro prospect. Like, we're not going to be really talking about him highly come the NFL draft, but you watch him at while you can here in college. He's a leader here at Vanderbilt. They got a nice little edge rusher as well, Miles Caper, and a really good tight end. He might be the one of the top 2 tight ends in the draft in 2026, and Eli Stowers. So I'm interested to see if Vanderbilt can do it again, beat Alabama, pull off the upset, and continue their season. Like I said, they're undefeated. They're 5-0, entering SEC play here with Alabama, who's 10th in the nation. They just beat Georgia in a dog fight. Bama 3-1. They had the little hiccup to begin the year against Florida State, but like I said, Bama's got some dudes. Like, Ryan Williams, sophomore wide receiver. We'll be talking about him a lot in 2027, maybe 2028, with Jeremiah Smith as well coming out there. But, Ty Simpson, their quarterback, way better than I thought he was. Like, I'm at the point where, like, Ty Simpson is a guy I'm actually on my radar for the NFL draft. Like, maybe we're talking about him 2nd, 3rd round. Jeremy Bernard, the other wide receiver, Oppo, Ryan Williams, he's really good. Get some first round buzz potentially for him. I really like his game. On the offensive line, they got Parker Brailsford. They got Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor's huge, 6'9", 350, 360 pounds. He took a screen pass against Georgia. Check that out. It was incredible. What a wild play call by Alabama there. Parker's Brailsford, he's the center. Nice little prospect, good mid-round guy potentially in the NFL draft. Now on defense, Damani Jackson, the corner, Deontay Lawson, the linebacker. They're going to both generate some buzz for the NFL draft. We're looking at day 2 guys, day 3 potentially. I look at them more, day 2, maybe late third round at the latest. But like I said, Alabama's got some dudes. Vanderbilt, not so much, but they play great football, good, clean football, just like W Energy. Diego Pavia, really fun quarterback to watch. Eli Stowers, really great tight end. So I'm interested in if Vanderbilt can do it again, beat Alabama, and potentially ruin Alabama's playoff hopes. That would drop them to 3-2. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they go from there to potentially make the 12-team playoff. I mean, if they ran the table, win the SEC championship game, obviously that gives them a guaranteed spot there. But that might have to be their route if they do fall here to Vanderbilt again. This game's going to be really fun. And finally, this is another Nick shout out here. The number 3 Miami Hurricanes, they're 4-0. They travel to Florida State, take on 18 ranked Florida State Seminoles, who just lost to Virginia, who now is in the top 25. So shout out the Virginia Cavaliers. Florida State 3-1. This game's gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good football game. Florida State even came out. Their coach said maybe they overlooked Virginia. They were looking too much towards Miami. Florida State's offense, not ton of pro guys, but Deuce Robinson, fun receiver. I really like his game. I'm interested to see how he does against Miami. And Tommy Castellanos, the quarterback there, transfer from Boston College. He's got a little dog in him, a little spitfire. Likes to talk his shit, and hey, you'll take that. And he's a smaller guy, but good college quarterback. Like I say, he's 5'11", 201. He can run around, make some plays happen there for Florida State. But it's really their defense. They got a really good interior defensive lineman, Darrell Jackson, and then Earl Little Jr., the safety. He's so fun to watch. So I would check those guys out. And then Miami, like Bama, they have a ton of dudes. Carson Beck, he's more like Carson Back, baby. I know Nick's really jazzed about Carson Beck and his performance this year. Maybe we got to look into the Miami reviving quarterbacks here. We did it with Cam Ward last year. Now Carson Beck this year. He's playing really well in Miami. They got a good offensive tackle, Francis Mauigoa. Really good left tackle, potentially right tackle, could kick into guard as well, but we'll be probably talking about him, top 15 prospect, potentially out of Miami. Good wide receiver, CJ Daniels. He brings in some ridiculous catches. I love their running back, Mark Fletcher. I love Damian Martinez last year. Mark Fletcher, similar style, just bruiser back, just runs you over, will wear you out. So he's got some juice there. And then the edge rushers, there's Akeem Mesidor, who's good. But there's Ruben Bain. I brought up Caleb Downs might be the best player prospect in the 2026 draft. Ruben Bain's right there with Caleb Downs. This dude is insanely good. The Bain train, he has offensive tackles like Olivia Rodrigo crying on the floor of their bathroom. This dude is insane. He's got great bend. I said a week or two ago that if I had a Heisman vote, as much as I love John Mateer at Oklahoma, I would give my vote to Ruben Bain. I know defensive players don't get it, but Ruben Bain is that dude, and we could be talking about him going number 1 overall in 2026 if one of those QB needy teams is drafting top of the draft. And hey, say it's Tennessee, getting Ruben Bain. Yeah, on that defense, Cam Ward leading that offense, that's a step in the right direction for Tennessee. But the Bain train is going to give Florida State some fits. But if they can contain him, we could be looking at an upset potentially here in Florida. But this game's going to be fun. A ton of fun dudes to watch. I can't wait to see what Ruben Bain does against Florida State. And I can't wait to see how Castellanos and the offense, handle Bain and Mesidor. Mesidor is a really good edge rusher. Out there for Miami as well. And then how's Miami's offense handle Florida State's defense? Earl Little Jr. at safety, Darrell Jackson, the interior defensive lineman, who I think is as good, if not better, than the cats they brought out last year for FSU. So those are 5 games that I'm looking forward to, week 6 of college football. And throw a little honorable mention, my Minnesota Golden Gophers. They're 3-1. They're going to take on the number one team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes, undefeated. So prime time. I just hope the Gophers hang in there. Coy Parrish, really good safety for the Golden Gophers. Drake Lindsey, their freshman quarterback in Minnesota. He's got pro build. Like, he looks like your prototypical pro quarterback. So maybe in 3 years we're talking about Drake Lindsey here on the podcast. But we'll see how the Minnesota offense plays against that Ohio State defense. A little extra content there for you, a little bonus game, as you will. So that'll do it here for the Drafted Up podcast. You know where to find us: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Search Drafted Up podcast. Like, rate, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. But I'm going to try to be better about initiating you guys to say stuff in the comments. So put in some games that you're looking forward to in the comment section, or some prospects that you're really liking or that you want us to watch or give our thoughts on. And, game balls, any players that I didn't talk about, like college football, there's a ton of teams. So I'm not going to get to everybody, but if there's somebody out there that you're just like, hell yeah, though, this dude had a great game, shout him out. Hey, do it. And I'll try doing that as well with starts of the week, plays of the week, like you guys give yours, all that good stuff, as we kind of toy with the format here. If this is something you guys are interested in, like if you like this style thing, like maybe on Tuesdays we'll kind of do this, as the show's kind of got a little bit repetitive. We're trying to, spice it up, make it a little more interesting, as not the same format, not just for you guys, but for us. Like it can be aware, like doing the same thing over and over again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, same format, not a lot of change, and it just kind of becomes repetitive, and we don't want to wear ourselves out or wear you guys out as the listeners. We're like, oh, it's this again. So if this is something you guys liked, where we dive a little bit deeper in the college stuff, we could do that. And then Thursdays we'll continue to do the normal shtick, plays of the week, go through the games, do the picks, all that good stuff. Drafted Up podcast. I appreciate you guys. If you stuck through, listen to my sultry voice as it's just me today. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I will catch you guys next time here on the Drafted Up podcast. I don't know if we'll have another episode this week. If we do, surprise. Merry Christmas. Happy Halloween. It's spooky season, baby. Drafted Up podcast. I'm Theo. Support us. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Like, rate, subscribe, review, share, 5 stars, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I will see you guys next time here on the Drafted Up podcast. Adios.